Kevin,
Yes.
you've probably heard of the phrase that employers are looking for problem solvers and not problem finders. What do you think this means?
I've heard the phrase before. I think it means employers are not only looking for people who can identify problems, they're also looking for people who can solve them.
Exactly. Imagine you're an employer and you've recently hired 3 interns.
Okay.
And one day you request them to print out some documents that you need for an important client meeting. So then the trainees find out that the printer is broken.
Okay.
Intern 1 does nothing about it.
Yeah.
Intern 2 sends you a message and tells you the printer is broken and waits for further direction.
Okay.
But intern 3 goes to the finance department and asks for some money.
Yeah.
After this, they go to a printing shop, they print out the papers, and they bring them in time for the meeting. When it comes to the end of the internship, which one do you think you're going to retain?
Quite honestly, I think I'll retain the 3rd intern.
Yeah.
And that's for the simple reason that they identified the problem and went ahead and solved it. For intern 2, I'll just call them a problem finder and nothing else. As for intern 1, well, I don't know what to call them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an example of a pretty simple and straightforward problem, but problems can get really complex in business.
Yeah.
Maybe do you have an example of a complex problem?
Yes, say for example, also in my business, I'm having problems with sales. So I cannot pinpoint exactly where the challenge is. Is it that the sales team is not doing enough or that they're not skilled? Yeah.
Okay, so there are some steps that you can take to still solve a complex problem.
Okay.
So the first thing that you need to do is to understand the cause of the problem.
Okay.
So Charles Kettering says that a problem well defined is a problem half solved. So one way you can do this is to do the root cause analysis, where you ask why until you get to the root cause of the problem. In this example, the problem is that the company is not making enough sales, and you ask why? Because the sales team are not bringing enough sales. Why?
Yeah.
Because their cold calls are not effective. Why? Because they were not trained on how to do cold calls properly. And you keep going until you find the root cause of the problem.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do is look at your data. At this point, perhaps you've collected some data on your sales. So analyzing your data can perhaps give you some more insights into this issue. Secondly, you need to brainstorm.
Yeah.
So once you find out the root cause of the problem, get your team together and try and brainstorm on as many solutions as possible. Finally, you need to test out your solutions. So pick the most feasible solution you have and test it out. If it works, then you're good to go. If not, then back to the drawing board and pick out another solution that you came up with.
I believe also that these problems can occur at a personal level, not only in business. Say, for example, I had issues with how I dealt with my finances.
Okay.
And I analyzed what the issue was, and I realized that I didn't have a budget rather. So after realizing where the issue was, I made a budget, stuck to it, and I even went further and opened a bank account. Yeah.
Okay, so now are your finances doing much better?
Yes, they are now. Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that if you're flexible, you're open-minded, and you're willing to try out new things,
Yeah.
then you can use problem solving to tackle even the most difficult issues.
Yeah, that's true.